All right, so I just got frustrated by something, but the show must go on, right? We got to push through. I'm rolling my eyes, but it is what it is. But you know, what gives me the lights? The Larsa light. Okay, so we're talking about Real Housewives of Miami. That was the Larsa light, by the way. Do you want to see it? Do you want to see it? Do you want to see all hooked up? Shall I turn on the light actually? Let's see. In my Anyway, so yeah, in my Larsa Light vibes, I really don't understand not understanding Larsa because she really is the icon. Real Housewives of Miami, this new season, we waited for it and it is so good. It is really good. It does feel a little bit that Lisa is on the decline. Yes, she is one of my favorites, season 2 and 3, and then coming back 4, 5, 6. And even like in 6, it feels like she's been on the decline for a little bit, but I always liked her so much from the early seasons. But she's showing more of herself that isn't as favorable. But this taking on against Larsa, bad move for Lisa. Yes, I think she's gonna be a part timer. I think she is. Unfortunately for her, but because she used to be so amazing, I felt like who she was when she was married was more like she was very, what I liked about her is she was owning all of who she was and how the things were, and her lifestyle was wonderful. And this fall from grace has really been a fall from grace, but to take it out on Larsa seems crazy. Larsa seems to be where she's going to have the back and forth with all season. Now, my question is, and we'll talk about why that is in a second, but my question is, do you think this was a strategy for her? And if so, I would really be upset. It's always funny how Larsa gets chosen or deemed as you call TMZ all the time, you arc this, you arc that. But lo and behold, let me just tell you, 3 seasons in a row, and somebody who wants a big moment seems to latch on to Larsa. Now, Dr. Nicole's an amazing person. She's got her podcast with Dr. Tiffany Moon. That's all wonderful. But we have got to be honest. Dr. Nicole's first season, nobody knew or cared, really. Anthony, good-looking husband, yes, but like no one really cared. Then the season that she latched onto Larsa, suddenly she was like kind of valuable and important. But the season after, you couldn't even mention one thing that happened in Dr. Nicole's life. That's no diss to Dr. Nicole, but like the only reason people enjoyed her was because it was like, ooh, look at her, she's going up against Larsa, and Larsa will always put her foot in her mouth to some degree, and then like you kind of, it's like a strategy. And so Gertie's a little bit different because Gertie was always amazing. But then Gertie's, so basically what I'm saying is Dr. Nicole's big season, Larsa. Gertie's big season, Larsa. So Lisa strategized and said, in my mind, this is what I'm thinking. Lisa strategized and said, oh, that's what I'm going to do. I am going to find something to have an issue with Larsa, and therefore I'm the most talked about person of the season. It's a strategy. On the TV show Love and Hip Hop, they used to do this with this girl, the Hollywood version. They used to do this with this girl, Moniece. Moniece was always going to talk and lose her emotions, but she was very entertaining. But she would be baited in a way, and she would do things kind of whatever. But every season you had duds. And I'm not saying Dr. Nicole, Gertie, or Lisa are duds, because I actually do like them all quite a bit. But I'm saying it's a strategy. On this other show, the duds would always come, let's say, eat off Moniece. And Moniece would always give them their big moment. And therefore, there'd be like the season with Moniece, you knew who they were. The season without Moniece, I think they had the pink slip that you never heard from again. And so I feel like that's kind of what's happening here too. It's a very big strategy. And Lisa has been floundering, these last couple of years. And when I say floundering, she's still one of my favorites. But I think this was a strategy. It's falling flat, unfortunately, because I really do like Lisa. Like, I like Lisa a lot. And I mean, in terms of what we're seeing and as we're building this particular 7th season of Real Housewives of Miami, I mean, it's pretty simple. They're besties all these years. She's not dealing with who her ex is anymore, kind of would appreciate that her friend, also understand that. And it's one thing to like, okay, the friend and her, Jody, which is her boyfriend, they are still talking to him, Marcus. But at the same token, like, it's one thing that you did it. It's that when Larsa brought that information to you, you were so combative. I don't like that combative, passive aggressive kind of thing. It's like, you're not going to own your portion of it. Like, I do think that Lisa would have been equally upset if Larsa was palling around with anybody in her ex's, even the new like fiance that was in Lenny's life or isn't anymore. But like, it would be a bad look and it would be disloyal if Larsa was like hanging with her or with Lenny or with one of Lenny's like, friends or whatever. And I think you would have to own that. And I think what's making this whole issue happen on this season is that Lisa's like, she's being like all whatever about it. It's like, oh, well, we saw Marcus. It's not that big of a deal. If I say it's a big deal, like in terms of Larsa, if you say it's a big deal, it's a big deal. And so her passing that off as it's not a big deal and like suddenly having this like narrative of like, oh, Larsa's always stirring it up. It's like, wow, what friend were you from the beginning? Because you were right there when, if you think she was doing all these things, you were right there as her bestie when she was quote unquote treating Dr. Nicole away, treating Gertie away. So now who's looking really silly? And that's why I say it's so unfortunate. Lisa was a superstar in the show, but really she is kind of getting her ass handed to her some way. I feel so bad about it because I love Lisa. She was always one of my favorites. I don't watch a show and see somebody who has a lot of things and judge them just because of that. I think Lisa was like fun. She knew who she was. She knew where and how it happened and who she was in love with and all these beautiful homes. But also like she was like a sweet girl. And something about this new life that she has and being with Jody and everything maybe not clicking. It's really, I mean, you saw her last season, when they were on the boat and she was being less in tune with some really serious stuff that was going on with Gertie, and she was looking for like, her lip gloss or something like that. So Lisa's been having a steady decline, but I've still always liked her. But just not a good idea. Just strategy, not good if you're going up against Larsa. I don't think this is smart for her, but I think the season is really good. This anticipation for the season, it's been like, oh my gosh, we're so ready for another Real Housewives of Miami being the best franchise, like one of the best ones. I really like it. So yeah, I just couldn't believe that I was going to have to say, oh man, this is like dominating, that Larsa is just, so correct with everything on Real Housewives of Miami, and Lisa, who I really do think she looked at the playbook. I could be wrong, but like sometimes you just feel it. You're like, did she get the playbook and say, well, this really benefited Dr. Nicole? Because remember, Dr. Nicole on the show, no one talked about her all season 6, like at all. Season 5 was her big season, and she went up against Larsa, and Larsa said some stuff that she shouldn't, like that. That's when people liked Dr. Nicole. Season 6, Dr. Nicole was like invisible on the show. No one. Hello, is she here? Is she in the scene? No one even saw her. She was not in the scene ever. She was there, but she wasn't like present. But also that's okay. This is not a Dr. Nicole diss. I think what Dr. Nicole's doing with Dr. Tiffany Moon and their podcast is really good. And also, here's one thing I will say. Dr. Nicole, when I say she wasn't good for this show's a mess. She's better than the show, kind of a thing. So I do get that part of it, but I'm mostly just giving a point that like, watch out, Lisa, because these moments that you have a season with Larsa, it can really do you, because Lisa's already got a high standing on this show. But if she does a Larsa season and she shows herself to be lame, you're going to have a Dr. Nicole season 6 kind of era, the next season, if asked back, but I hope, she does. I mean, I think she said that her rent was $32,000 a month, $32,000 a month. Oh man. You would think if she had $32,000 a month on the rent, like she'd be like a little bit more on point, but she's slipping. And I wonder if she's taking it out on Larsa a little bit. Anyway, I've got my Larsa light in hand. I use it as much as I can, and that's just that. Real Housewives of Miami's been great. Alexia's been sharing a lot. I'm just loving the seasons, but it had been such a long time from season 6 to season 7, so I'm so excited about all these new developing storylines. But the two of them, I thought this would never happen. I always feel really weird when two of my favorites argue. It's like whenever, I don't know, this is different because they weren't close, but Melissa Gorga and Dolores Catania are my favorites on Jersey, and when they would argue, I would it's like a tough, because I'm more Melissa than anybody, but at the same time, like I love Dolores. So this one's tough too. I love Lisa. I'm like team Lisa all day, every day, but going up against Larsa, it's kind of like, it's kind of like, this might be a flop. Like this whole thing might be a flop. It would have been no problem to say, you know what, you're right. I wouldn't have wanted you to go befriend somebody I was involved with in that way. Thanks for calling it out. But she's more like, how dare you tell me? Like, she's now like turning Larsa into this thing in her imagination of, well, you're this and you're a social climber. You're this. It's like, Lisa, there's one thing about the Larsa light is it does have a mirror. Like, that's what makes it so funny, because it's like Lisa's presenting all these like ethics and morals and what should be. And it's like, Lisa, we have got to be exactly more. We've got to look into the mirror, I mean, I got to look in the mirror. We all have to look in the mirror. Anyways, I'm loving the season. That's it. That's all I wanted to say.